Hey, it's your girl Shay Shay. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time, and welcome back if you've been here before. Before we get into the video, I'd like to wish you all a happy 2026. I hope your year is peaceful, prosperous, and happy. Rihanna, where have you been? It's been almost a decade since Anti, her last album, has dropped, and fans are losing it. We all know she's a billionaire and she doesn't need to drop new music. She could just run Fenty, Savage X Fenty, Fenty Hair, all them companies, chill on a private island and count her money. And honestly, that would be perfectly fine. Even though she's not rushing to put out new music, it does seem like every now and again we get stories about her putting out a new album soon, whether it be performances that get scheduled or it be about leaks coming from her camp. The thing is, Riri knows her brand, her empire, and her legacy, and all those things are on the line. And while we're all waiting for her next album, she's clearly thinking bigger than just a record. She's thinking about the long game. Today we're breaking down why Rihanna isn't rushing back to music and why she might actually be scared to flop. Disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take anything said here too seriously. It's just jokes, gossip, and opinions. Please relax and enjoy the video. Everything presented in this video is alleged. I'm only spreading the word on the curb and in no way I'm giving my personal opinion. Okay, let's break it down. Early Rihanna, she was dropping albums like clockwork, loud, talk that talk, unapologetic, basically one every year. The girl was everywhere. Then she took a break, and when she came back with Anti, it was different. We weren't expecting that kind of sound from her. Not the same radio hits she'd been known for, and it wasn't really predictable, but in hindsight, she smashed it. The album is iconic, still sounds fresh, still gets played. But here's the thing, after Anti, she didn't just make another record. She pivoted into building empires, Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty, Fenty Hair, etc. And on top of that, she started a family. Now she's balancing 3 kids, multiple billion-dollar brands, and still keeping her finger on the pulse of everything. That's not a little workload, that's a whole lifestyle. And also, you have to take into consideration the money in music today. The real cash isn't in the album anymore. Back in the day, it used to be that the tour was there to promote the album. Now it's the other way around. And touring isn't a casual thing. It's months of travel, long nights, high energy, massive logistics. For a mom of 3 who's also running businesses, that's a huge ask. You can't just roll out an album and then disappear. You've got to tour to capitalize off of it. Plus, music itself has changed. Who knows if her new songs would land in the streaming era? The audience is different, attention spans are different, but there is hope. We've seen a rebound in R&B lately. Songs like Folded by Kalani are proving the genre still has legs. And side note, that song went double platinum in my house. I'm not even playing with you. So when you stack it all together, iconic superstar, mom of 3, business mogul, touring demands, and a shifted music landscape, it makes sense that Rihanna isn't rushing. She's playing the long game. She's calculating the risk, and she's thinking moves ahead.
Rihanna is done with music, and here's why. What it really comes down to is anonymity. When I was watching the Super Bowl and her performance, I immediately started thinking of Zendaya. About 8 months ago, Zendaya sat down with Variety and Andrew Garfield and discussed her role as Rue on Euphoria. And in that interview, she revealed that she didn't know if she could ever be a pop star. Not because she didn't have the chops for it, simply because she has this level of anonymity as an actor that she really enjoys. And she said she gets to sort through all her stuff as different characters, whereas if she were in another medium, people would expect her to have this level of authenticity and vulnerability as herself. And so when Rihanna created Fenty and became a billionaire, not only was that more lucrative for her monetarily, but also the expectation of her to share every part of her life somewhat diminished. She regained access to this level of control and agency over what she shared. And for her, that seems to be the most valuable thing to her, especially as she steps into motherhood. She gets to make her money and still keep her private life private. And even though it makes me sad as a fan, as a human being, I respect it. Because privacy in this world is a privilege.
Alright, let's talk about Anti, the last album Rihanna recorded up to now. When Anti finally came out in January 2016, the rollout was unusual. First, it was the Samsung promotion, which gave away copies of the album. A lot of downloads didn't count towards first week sales. Then there was the streaming factor. Streams weren't fully counted the way they are now, so the first week numbers looked much lower than they actually were. Officially, the album debuted at number 27 on the Billboard 200, which was her lowest opening ever. First week counted sales were roughly only 460 copies. Oh, that's crazy when you think her previous record debuted at number 1 with hundreds of thousands sold. Billboard later included the Samsung numbers, which helped, but at release it looked very underwhelming. Critics also were mixed at first. Some weren't sure what to make about the album's style, the pacing, or the vibe. Fans were confused too because it wasn't the kind of radio-heavy, fast-hit album she used to drop yearly. It was a departure from what people expected, and the uncertainty reflected in the conversation around it. To add context, this wasn't just about numbers. The music industry itself was changing. Streaming was taking over, first week sales weren't the same metric as before, and Rihanna had been out of the yearly album cycle for a while at that point. Suddenly the game she'd mastered was different. So when you put it all together, long break, unusual rollout, low first week sales counted, mixed initial critical reception, and a shifted industry, it's a lot to navigate. That's the environment she was stepping into with Anti, and while it's now seen as a massive success, at the moment it was a very different picture. And you've got to consider that since then the world has changed even more.
Did y'all see Rihanna?
Yeah, she was at a Fenty launch event in Barbados, and she was making a speech. She was talking about how her home inspired her so much, and then what people really zeroed in on. She said, music is really what got the attention and really catapulted me into the spotlight, right. But God had other plans for me.
Pretty much what Reggie said. Music introduced me to the world. Music is what got me here, but I don't love music. I could imagine somebody like a Rihanna who's like, oh wait, I made billions off of doing something that I really love. I'm never gonna make music again. Like she said, I don't love music without saying I don't love music.
I disagree. She literally went on like a 10 album run of hits. If she doesn't love music, I feel like she would have never given us that. I feel like she still loves music, but she just loves what she's doing more. She's really like, wow, this beauty thing, this hair, makeup space, I really love this. So that's why she's pursuing it now. But I don't think she's like, hey, I don't love music anymore.
This is where a lot of people have speculated that fear might be a factor in this equation. The fear of becoming a joke. And the clearest example of this is Katy Perry. Katy Perry used to rule pop music. She dominated radio, charts, culture, but fast forward to now and her most recent era is widely seen as trash. Like, it's genuinely become a laughingstock. The music, the visuals, the meaning, it all became a punchline. And that's the part that people don't want to say out loud. Katy Perry isn't just seen as someone whose numbers decline, she's seen as embarrassing. Her name comes up in a fell-off conversations. Her legacy gets questioned, and once that happens, you don't just lose chart power, you lose respect. Rihanna does not want that at all. If R9 or whatever it ends up being called comes out and people decide it's bad, outdated, or not worth the wait, that doesn't just affect one album, it affects her image. It affects how people see her taste in music, her instincts, her cultural relevance, and when your name is attached to a billion-dollar brand, that matters a lot. A flopped album doesn't exist in isolation anymore. It turns into memes, think pieces, viral tweets, and suddenly people are side-eyeing everything connected to you. That kind of fallout can lead to a slump, not just in music streams, but in brand perception, sales, and overall valuation. Rihanna has spent years building an image where she doesn't miss, where she moves quietly, drops selectively, and only shows up when she's confident it will land. Risking R9 and risking being seen the way Katy Perry is seen now couldn't do that mystique. So when people say she's a billionaire, why doesn't she just drop? This is why, because once the culture decides you've lost it, it's very hard to get that respect back. And right now, she kind of has a legendary status and she's spoken as one of the great artists of our generation. She doesn't want to risk that.
Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah.
They're blocking her records. Like if you go and try to add a song to a short, you know, the approved playlist when you put in search, you can't tag a Rihanna song to any of it. Not on Instagram at all. Why not? Especially anything from the Anti album. It was her best album. It was the least promoted. It came to mixed, no, it was amazing. But see, Sean Carter doesn't like to be embarrassed in public. And neither does his wife. And there were nothing but embarrassing things all through that album about them.
Please leave all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below and leave a like if you've enjoyed this content so far. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. ShaeShae out.